Hello there. So in today's video, I'm going to discuss the ISO certification audit cycle. How does it all work? And when a company completes its implementation process, then how they contact the certification body, and then how the process all goes, and in which stages the audit is done, the final certification audit. So before I go there, just let me explain you the concept of the certification body without getting into much of the details. So there are certain very famous certification bodies like BSI, DNV, Bureau Veritas, SGS, DQS, LRQA, Lloyd's Register. There are other certification bodies as well. So any organization may contact the certification body to come as an external auditor and audit their organization to find if they are conforming with the requirements of the ISO standard. And then the certification body may issue the certificate. So before I dive into the process, let's first understand just an overview that every certification body that I just named, they also have to follow a standard which is called 17021, and they continuously get audited on the 17021 by an accreditation board. And as I said, without getting into that details, let's follow the path and let's follow the 17021, that how the certification audit may be performed. So as usual, I'll take a help of one of my slides. So once you are done with the implementation process and you're ready to go for the certification, then you contact these certification bodies. And these certification bodies, they basically provide you a proposal based on the size of your organization, based on the complexity, based on the number of sites out there, based on the nature of industry that you are in, the risk levels, so on and so forth. So they have certain considerations which are considered by the technical department of the certification body, and they will provide you a proposal, which is basically a commercial quote, at how much time they're going to spend at your organization to perform the audit. Once you agree to it, then from that point, my process of this ISO certification audit cycle will start. So after the contract with the client, so you are the client organization for the certification body, so the term that is used is called client. So after you're done with the contract, then the first thing that is done by the certification body is called the stage one audit. Now this stage one audit is also called a documentation audit. So what happens is that the auditors may come, they will not verify any implementation. Rather, they will just verify that if you have established all the documents that are required by the standard, and what other documents that you have developed in addition to the requirements of the standard. So they will assess the whole documentation status at your organization. They will assess the readiness to go for the stage two audit, which is later on comes, which is also called the implementation audit. And I'm just going to explain you in a bit. So they will assess the state of readiness, they will evaluate the scope of certification, and they will prepare themselves to do the stage two audit. So the outcome of a stage one is called area of concern. So they will give number of findings, which will be based on the documentation deficiencies, what is not there. And just to highlight that besides the existence of the required documentation, there are two records which are required, which is called one of the internal audits, that the company should have performed one internal audit, and the company should also have performed one management review. So in order for you to proceed for the stage two, the stage one requires that the company should have established all the documents as required by the standard, any other documents that they have developed, so the auditor may get aware of that documentation. And lastly, you should have performed one internal audit and one management review before you can proceed for a stage two. So as a result of the stage one, auditor usually develops their checklist, which is also called auditor's checkpoints for the stage two audit. So by the time the auditor reviews all your system and everything, they get the understanding that the where the company stands and what to expect in the stage two audit, and they make their checkpoints. So they do not just evaluate the status of readiness and the completeness and adequacy and the correctness of your documentation. Rather, they would also prepare themselves for the stage two audit. Based on that, they prepare an audit plan. This is called the stage two audit plan. So they will let the client know that if they're coming for a 2 days audit, how many auditors are coming, or a 3 days audit or 4 days audit. Again, that all depends upon the structure of the organization, the number of sites, as I've already earlier explained to you. So they will prepare an audit plan, and they normally distribute that audit plan couple of weeks before the stage 2 audit, so that everyone knows that these are the dates for the stage 2, and the company or the other head of departments and the people within the company, they should expect and they should be ready for the stage 2 audit. Then they will come again, and they are going to perform a stage 2 audit, which is also called the implementation audit. Now this audit is also called as certification audit. This is the final certification audit, and the agenda for the stage 2 audit is to check the implementation. So whatever you have claimed in your stage 1, the documentation and the processes, whatever is required by the standard, whatever your own processes are, whatever you have claimed in stage 1, they will go into the stage 2, the auditors, and they will ask you to show the implementation of all the processes that you have shown in stage 1, plus any other processes that you have defined which are on the ground, and they verify the implementation of the whole process. So they verify the implementation of your documentation plus the standard requirements practically on the ground, and normally that results in the non-conformities. So there may be non-conformities or they may not be non-conformities. And then there is a concept which is called a major or a minor non-conformity. Without getting into the details of that, after the resolution of the non-conformities or a corrective action plan against the minor non-conformities, then what will happen is that the company, the certification body, issues you the ISO certificate. Now that certification, the issuance of the certificate, that is valid for 3 years, about 36 months. And the certification audit is followed by two surveillance audits. So almost after every 12 months, there's first surveillance audit, and then there is a second surveillance audit. And after another 12 months, there would be a recertification audit, which is just like a stage 2 audit. So the company has to go through a 3 year cycle, and that cycle will get them another certificate, which will be valid for another 3 years. So that's how the whole the ISO certification audit cycle looks like, and that's how the whole process works. So I hope whichever company is going for the final certification and dealing with about to contact the certification bodies, this process may help them to understand the whole audit cycle. And hopefully in the next one, in my next video, I'll be covering some of the issues that the companies should consider and be ready for before going for the applying for the certification audit. Some of the repeated non-conformities that are out there. So based on my experience, I'm going to share that so that you can cover yourself well before going for the certification audit. So hope this information may help you. Till then, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.